On this episode, we're going to talk about the falls, the number one question we get asked and the most difficult to answer.
Best damn podcast, the best damn town. You want to get up, get ready to get down. With its big wide sky and wild river Thames, if you want to go, we can take you there. Through Great Falls, Montana.
Welcome from Montana's greatest damn town, Great Falls. I'm Rebecca.
I'm Maricela.
And we're no damn experts. But we know some stuff.
Today, our topic is
the falls in Great Falls.
See, we already finished each other's sentences.
Almost like it was planned.
If you're new to this podcast, which honestly,
everyone is. This is what, the second episode?
Yeah. You're going to find a series of stories about Great Falls, Montana, pretty much from people who live here.
Not just us. We will actually bring in experts because, as we've stated, we're no damn experts. It's going to be educational,
entertaining,
and hopefully, my dream will make us famous.
Welcome.
So the number one question we get asked by our in-market guests is,
where are the falls?
And it is a valid question because depending on how you've arrived in Great Falls, whether it be by plane, by car from the south, by car from the north, by car from the east, you would be hard-pressed to find the Missouri River.
Honestly, I feel this is a horrible thing to admit. Upon moving to Great Falls, Montana, I didn't know anything about them. I see them, and I pull my car over. I'm like, what is this?
Surprise!
And I'm not the only one that does it. Every time I drive past that point now, there's cars parked, and they're taking pictures, taking video, and enjoying the sound.
The thing that's crazy about Great Falls is we're laid out in a grid pattern. The original kind of plot of the city itself. And as it expanded, it moved around these original plot points, which is to be expected. But as that growth happened, we kind of lost that focal point of the river, which if you're coming in from the south, and I'll admit this fun fact, I went to college at the great Montana State University in Bozeman, go Bobcats, and we were heading north for a wedding from Bozeman, taking the interstate, and I knew Great Falls. I knew what it was like. I had come here often as a child, but when you're on the interstate, you don't even see most of the city. You see an exit, and that's really your glimpse of Great Falls. And you can't see the Missouri River unless you're looking for it. Then you can find it.
That is true.
And so a lot of people will just bypass if they're on the interstate because they're like, well, it doesn't seem like there's much there.
Wrong.
So wrong. But the falls are on the Missouri River, and the headwaters for that river is just 2 hours south of us, which is one of our state parks. You could start there as the origin, come to Great Falls, but we have these 5 falls that are here on the Missouri River that are not easy to find, which is odd. We understand that, but also absolutely gorgeous.
So when I started working with Rebecca and she taught me how to greet in-market guests, man, was she able to rattle off this information in a smooth and comprehensive way. And I think I've mastered it.
I think you probably have.
But you know what? They're not here for the master. I'm gonna throw it to Rebecca, the expert. There we go. So she is the damn expert on this introduction.
Well, we'll see how well I stumble on it now, because anytime you call somebody out to do it perfectly, they're going to just sound like they've never done it before in their life. There are 5 falls in Great Falls, 4 of which that you can see today, 3 of which that you can drive to and see, and 1 that requires you to walk down to, but you can see it from a distance.
And that would be Crooked Falls.
That would be Crooked Falls.
And thankfully you can walk to it because The River's Edge Trail.
Yes.
That's going to be its own episode. You know how we got all soft and little gooey there? It's our beloved River's Edge Trail.
53 miles of trail, which is absolutely awesome. But beyond that, these falls, which is one of the bigger critiques, some of them have dams on them. Crooked Falls does not. And the one thing I will share, the names of them are Black Eagle, Rainbow, Crooked, which we've mentioned, and then the Great Falls. The one that you can't see today,
Coulter Falls.
It's submerged.
And I don't plan on scuba diving because I tried to, and I have. You almost die every time.
Really? I have a friend that scuba dives and loves it.
Hate it.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a strong swimmer.
I like air.
I think I was supposed to be on dry land.
Yes, I can see it.
Or in a boat on the water.
I can see it plenty fine. I'll enjoy the 4 I can see today.
Coulter became submerged when Rainbow Dam was created. Okay. So that's why you can't see it today unless you scuba dive. And honestly, what a great trip that would be. Somebody needs to do that.
That would be some great content for our Facebook, which is www.facebook.com/
Great Falls, Montana tourism.
We could even share that on our blog if someone wanted to do some video content.
Or we could even create a page on our website. Visit greatfallsmontana.org. Shameless plug.
And it would be how to see the 5th fall. And you know what? We would have to do it in probably summer because fall's winter. Winter too cold.
Yeah, it's chilly. But Black Eagle Falls is probably the biggest within the city limits.
Yes.
Black Eagle Falls has 2 vantage points, really. You can go from the top or you can go from the base of those falls. And they're on either side of the river, which is really a unique experience. And one thing I'll tell on our residents, many Great Falls residents think the Great Falls are Black Eagle Falls.
I mean, I can understand because Great Falls, our namesake, is a little bit outside of town. I know from the visitors, or from when the visitors come and greet us, or we greet them. I'm going to stop back.
No. Leave that in.
Okay. When they greet us. They do.
They'll catch us by surprise. We're like, hey, we're here. Oh, hi.
Welcome. Want some coffee? We have water, too. So when we direct them to the Great Falls, our namesake, we say, hey, it's about 12.5 miles away. It's going to take you roughly 25 minutes. And we say that minute-wise because the 12 miles is deceiving.
It is. It's a beautiful drive. It's on a paved county road, so it is maintained. But it goes through a lot of agricultural land, some homesteads, because as you head out towards the Great Falls, you go down into this canyon. It's absolutely gorgeous. But little people know that where Great Falls is located today isn't where it was planned.
No, it was planned.
For further down by the Great Falls. Didn't happen. Who knows? You know back in the day how deals got done. Everybody knows the stories. I'll make one up if you want, but this is not the time or place for that story. Maroney, the old town site of Maroney, is where Great Falls was supposed to be, and that's where one of the dams are. And we're not here to talk about dams today. That's for another episode. We'll have an entire episode devoted to the dams in Montana's best dam town.
Hopefully with a dam expert.
We would hope so, because we aren't dam experts. But the Great Falls, just out of town, absolutely gorgeous. One disadvantage to them. Ryan Dam is there. There's a great power plant there. But the best vantage point is from Ryan Island Park.
Oh, yes, the suspension bridge that's only open from Mother's Day until Labor Day.
Correct. Now, it doesn't mean the falls are closed to people. You can still go see them. It's just you have to see them from the parking lot. Different angle, but still absolutely beautiful. And
the parking lot does have, I would say, a fence along it, so you can lean up against the railing. That's the word I'm looking for.
Railing.
It has a railing there for people to enjoy, so it's not just a normal parking lot. They did create it so you can see an awesome view of Ryan Dam and the Great Falls. One
of the things that I absolutely love about that area is really the enormity of the falls. You can still see today the actual size of the falls. The dam itself is built. There is a dam there that controls the water flow over the falls. But the dam itself is built into the curvature of the landscape, and so it leaves the falls intact, so you can still see them. The best time to see these falls is usually early, late spring.
So that's when the spring runoff comes.
Correct.
Oh, and that's before summer, which is fairly dry here, and we have to monitor our water usage because of the fires.
That is correct. And so you get to see this rush and roar of the water, the exact experience you'd like to have, just rushing over those rocks and splashing up. You can get close enough to get spray.
Oh, I love it.
And the park island is absolutely gorgeous for picnics, for rock climbing. Not like real rock climbing, but like you climb on top of a rock.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not like scaling the mountain. It's like, oh, there's a big rock. Let's jump on it and take pictures. And absolutely beautiful setting down in the canyons.
And the River's Edge Trail also runs in that area. So
it does on both sides of the shore. Depending on how much time you wanted to devote to get to either one, they're absolutely gorgeous. But that is where our namesake is, the Great Falls, out of town. I say usually, what do we say, about a half hour to get out there?
Yeah, half hour, 25 minutes, depending on
how fast you drive.
Or the weather, too.
Yeah.
So if it's beautiful and gorgeous out, you're probably going to drive a little slower because the scenery is breathtaking.
Now, I have never been to, let's say, Niagara Falls or other large tourist-style falls. But I've seen pictures, and I've seen a lot of people shoulder to shoulder looking at the water.
Yes, I have been to Niagara Falls a few times.
Oh.
And that's what you can expect. You can expect people behind you in your photo, right next to you. You are waiting in line to take a picture at a specific point. And
that sounds awful.
They're beautiful. And if you do want to sacrifice that point, it just adds to your time because you're not there enjoying. You're there trying to maneuver your way to enjoy. And so for Ryan Dam in the Great Falls,
you don't have to do that.
That's removed.
Yeah, we've already removed all those people. You won't find shoulder-to-shoulder people out there. It's a really beautiful experience that you and maybe one other couple are having.
Yeah.
But you won't be shoulder-to-shoulder. You will have a great vantage point. Like I said, you're going to get sprayed in the face. And that's probably my favorite spot to just take a little break, head out, and enjoy a relaxing afternoon.
So one of our follow-up questions of the falls, and I know I may seem like I'm getting ahead of myself, but we were mentioning the time it takes to get out to Great Falls is how long does it take to see them all?
Yeah, that's a tough one. Only because I don't know if you're going to do the Chevy Chase arm around your buddy and bop 3 times and head out, or if you're actually going to take a bunch of pictures and really immerse yourself in the history that's there. I would say it's going to take you at least, if it were me, 3.5 hours.
So it can be done in a day, but we don't recommend it. I mean, you want to know the history behind it, too.
You do. And there's so much history connected to the Missouri River. But in addition to that, the falls, the Lewis and Clark, our first people, Charlie Russell, all connected to this water. And our founder, Paris Gibson, even has a chunk of history in there as well.
Yes. The famous yet almost infamous founder.
Paris Gibson.
Well, it is
There's
October.
some shady stories.
It's October, so it's a little spooky. He's an alleged reason of why his wife may have died.
Could be.
Dare I say murder?
Murder.
Muck duck.
So, story for another time, but
Yes.
I've heard that story, and we're going to share it and maybe find a damn expert. I don't know if there's any that exist on that one, but we'll try.
So if people come in here and want to know about the falls, I always suggest that they start with the Great Falls. They do that 25, 30-minute trek out, come back into town, grab some lunch, and still enjoy the other falls that they can see in town today because it's fairly easy to, and they're not far from our office either.
No, they aren't. But you also have to give the recommendation for Black Eagle Falls. What side do you want them to see?
You know, it really depends on how adventurous they are, because on the south side of the River's Edge Trail, well, it's on both sides, but I prefer to see the Black Eagle Falls from the south side of the River's Edge Trail because it's amazing, it's close, it's beautiful. But if you want to get super close,
which is my favorite spot of the Black Eagle Falls, is from Black Eagle Memorial Island.
And this one does have a bridge you have to cross as well, but it's not suspension, because sometimes when we mention that suspension bridge,
people freak completely out. They're like, "Oh, nope, I'm not doing it."
They do a 180 and they're out of here. Like, no,
and it's not a long suspension bridge.
It's only missing a few crossboards.
Not that bad. It doesn't even swing that bad.
No, you got to really work for it.
But honestly, it really doesn't swing. It's pretty stable for a suspension bridge, because I've been on those rope suspension bridges.
Then we can understand.
I forget to breathe half the time on those. That's not the case heading out to Ryan Island.
But Memorial Island, there is a concrete bridge that you walk across, and there's parking in the area too. So
it's a beautiful park-like setting. And actually, a couple years ago, I was out there taking some winter photos of the river and the falls, and you can see Lewis and Clark Interpretive Center from that island.
Oh.
And it's just a really nice island. You can get pretty close to the falls, and you're at the base of the falls, versus kind of on the River's Edge Trail on the south side, you're a little bit more above, and then you gradually get below from that overlook or from the trail. So Black Eagle Falls, I'd say, is the widest falls we have. And then just down from there, if you're traveling by road, would be Rainbow Falls.
And that's accessible through the south side of the river. So you can jump on Giant Springs Road, which runs past the Lewis and Clark Interpretive Center.
And Giant Springs State Park.
They're all connected. So really, if you want to see all the falls, it's depending on how many detours you want to take as well.
Right. And if you wanted to do them in order, it would be Black Eagle, Rainbow, Crooked, Great Falls. If you want to do them in reverse, it would be Great Falls, Crooked, Rainbow, Black Eagle.
Yes.
But the thing that's really nice at Rainbow Falls, there's a great trailhead for the River's Edge Trail, and a trestle.
Oh, yes.
I think that's what it's called.
We're going to go with trestle.
Which creates a really nice background, I think. And again, the water flow best early mid-June, in my opinion, but just the roar of them. You're at a higher vantage point when you're looking at the Rainbow Falls, and then the South Shore Trail will take you down to Crooked Falls if you want to get up close and personal with it. But if you just want to stand at the pullout there at the trailhead, you can still see Crooked Falls, just not as close.
And that, whenever I drive to Rainbow Falls Overlook, it's so secluded. I was just by this park, the most visited park, state park in Montana, and then all of a sudden I turn the corner down the road and it's just me.
Yeah.
There may be a few other cars in the parking lot, and they're probably on the River's Edge Trail, but I feel like, wow, I get to enjoy this all to myself.
And it's in town. And that's, I think, what's really unique about the falls is they are within our city limits, if you will, except for the Great Falls. But they're not out of town. They're not isolated. They're not desolate. It's not like you're driving to Memorial Falls,
Yes.
which is another episode in itself.
Yes.
We have Memorial Falls, which is absolutely gorgeous. But they're in town, but it doesn't feel like that when you get to Rainbow or even Black Eagle from Memorial Island.
No, not at all.
It's just absolutely stunning to see the falls and get some water sprayed in your face.
So those are the falls of the Missouri River and Great Falls. I mean, we love our namesake, and we're going to talk about the dams on these falls later in the next episode. But we hope you enjoyed listening, and we really want to know your feedback. So
yes,
please review us on Podchaser or in any other way, whenever the heck you listen to your podcast from. Let us know.
Exactly.
We also can be found on Instagram at Visit Great Falls, on Twitter at Visit Great Falls. However, there's not really a large following there, so someone help me out. And
please follow us on Twitter.
And we're on Facebook, like we said earlier, Great Falls, Montana Tourism. But the most information you can find about this damn town is at visitgreatfallsmontana.org. And that's our website. We have everything. And we're going to even have podcast content. So go on there, wander, and leave an inquiry.
Yeah, and give us some comments. If you have other topics that you want covered, you want to know more about Great Falls, hey, we're here to serve you.
Yes. So thank you for listening.
We'll see you soon here in Great Falls.
Bye.
We're No Dam Experts is the recorded claims from Great Falls, Montana, covering what you need to know about this amazing damn town. Damn, that felt good.
On the next episode of We're No Dam Experts, Rebecca and Lottie filmed their first podcast for YouTube while telling their guests a little bit about Glacier National Park, Montana's pretty park. We're No Dam Experts was produced by Great Falls, Montana Tourism with original music by the best damn musician, Joel Corda.